Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Let's make this cute window shelf. I lost the footage where I tore the canvases off of these frames, but these are the smaller canvas from Dollar Tree. And here I completely tore that one apart because it was just so bad, and then I just put it back together. Had to tear all the little brads out of it and everything, but anyways, these were the worst canvases I had ever seen, or the worst frames. One of them, the canvas had somehow embedded itself into the frame, and I had to sand the heck out of it. But anyways, there was one that was good and made totally different than the rest. But anyways, I could not get these even. I had very large spots where they just wouldn't match up no matter how I put them. But the important thing is to make sure that they are, centered, that they're straight in the middle. And I had one frame that was like diagonally put together, and the other three were squared. I don't know how to explain that. But anyway, I used wood glue and hot glue, and I knew I was going to have trouble putting these together, but I didn't know how bad that they really were. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this because I just didn't think that they were going to come together, or that I was going to be able to make them look good. But perseverance, my friends, because it took a lot of willpower to keep going on these. But anyways, I ditched the hot glue and just started using the wood glue because I knew that they were in for the, they were going to have to sit for a long time. But here, I had a lot of trouble keeping them flat and keeping them straight. So, after I get these pieces all put together, and then I clamped the heck out of it, basically just put clamps everywhere I could to hold it together, and made sure that my center was straight. That was the most important part. And then we're going to use a lot of spackle and wood filler, because you can see on the ends of each side there how bad they didn't fit together, how much of a gap that there is. So I got this little wood plank, I think from the Dollar General, and I got it a long time ago, and I'm thinking it was like $2, and I think they're like $3 now. But I've had it for a long time. So anyways, I'm going to take some Vaseline and I'm going to spread it on to do the distressing. And since this is a color I ultimately want, I didn't have to paint the board first and then put the Vaseline on. Of course, if you wanted a different color, you would paint it first and then put the Vaseline on it and then paint over it. But the mistake I made there was I had a big glob right in the center, and I should have used a Q-tip, which I figured out and did for the other side. And I end up with the other side up. The other side ends up looking really, really good. So I'm using antique parchment from Apple Barrel, and I really like this color. It just gives it an antique, like the paint's been sitting around for a while. So, and then you make sure that you don't drag the Vaseline with the glue. So you're just basically, rubbing the glue across, kind of dragging the paint, across. And so here comes the spackle, and lots of spackle on the tops, on the sides, everywhere. See the big gaps there? So on this side I put a piece of tape down, and then squirted wood filler into that to get a good base to build on there, to try to even those out as much as I could. They still weren't perfect, but you're not going to be able to tell in the end of it, but the way it sat, you could tell. And then one side I want to put the piece of wood, the shelf, on the bottom, so it has to be fairly even for that. So it took a lot of wood filler, putty, or whatever you call that, spackle, and it took a lot of time. So I only put one video on here because this one was so time consuming. But anyway, so I took the inner ring of an embroidery hoop, and I'm going to wrap this completely with the twine. I'm not sure where I got the twine. I've got so much twine from flea markets and yard sales and Dollar Tree, Walmart. I've got twine up the kazoo. But anyway, so I burned all the hairs off, and now I'm going to take, this is just a regular plank from the Dollar Tree. Come in a pack of 5, I think. And it looks white there, but it's actually just a plain wood. So anyways, I'm going to stain it with the Waverly Antique Wax, so that has the same color as the other board that I got from the Dollar General. And now I'm going to take some boxwood, which I got from Walmart, and I'm going to tie that to the, after I get it the way I want it, I'm going to tie that to the embroidery hoop to make a little wreath. And I'm just going to use twine. Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't get them to sit the way I wanted. Those little pieces there don't have wire in them, so I just couldn't get them to behave, if you will. They were being ornery. So anyways, I get that all wrapped up, and while the paint's drying on my other pieces, and like I said, it was very time consuming because I had to paint this piece, and then while that piece was drying I had to do this piece, and then, you know, I kept switching back and forth. I had a good time doing this, especially after I saw how pretty this thing turns out, how absolutely farmhouse and rustic it looks. It turned out so nice, and I'm really happy. I'm going to be really happy to put this on my wall. But the Dollar Tree canvas frames, oh my goodness, they were terrible. It made me never want to work with them again. I've got some 8x10s, I believe, the bigger ones over here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those, but man, those ones were so terrible. So anyways, I'm taking some ribbon that I think I got at the Dollar Tree. I'm not absolutely sure. Now what I'm going to do with this ribbon is I'm going to figure out how, you know, what length I want them. Then I'm going to take this Velcro that I got either from Dollar General or from Dollar Tree. I think it's Dollar Tree. And I'm going to cut it down into thin pieces so it hides behind the ribbon. And then I'm going to put it on the ribbon to close the ribbon pieces together. And then I'm going to put it on one piece on the back side of the ribbon, and then the back side of the frame, which will make it possible to change the ribbon, change the wreath, change just the wreath, just the ribbon, or everything all together. So now I'm going to do this finger bow. I'd already put the bow on there, and I forgot to show you how I made the bow. This I learned from She's So Crafty, and this is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love it. So it's easier for you to just look than for me to explain it. But anyways, you can rewind the video or go watch these videos to learn how to do it. But you're basically wrapping it around your fingers, one over, one under, until you get your desired size. And that's how I did it right there. And you can rewind it and look. I can't explain it. It's just going to come out wrong. But I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. So it's been hectic around here, and my nerves have been really bad. I couldn't even do the voiceover. This video's been ready for about 3 days, and I couldn't even do the voiceover because of dogs and people, and my house is just kind of crazy right now. Anyways, I forgot to put the Vaseline on here, and I realized it right then. I was like, you big dummy. But yeah, I realized I forgot to put the Vaseline on it, but we'll just use that as the back side. So anyways, this time I took a Q-tip and I just rubbed it, you know, in different places, especially around the edges, and it'd be better than that big blob that I had on the other side. So then you're going to paint over it, and of course, you know, don't drag the Vaseline. You want to just run the paint over top of it. And it's still the antique parchment. I need to pick up some more of that. I didn't realize I was going to like it that much. So anyways, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. That's about the only quiet time that there is around here, which is sad. I get up in the middle of the night to do a video, but it's my life, you know, it is what it is. So anyways, I think the easiest way to you know, take the top paint off is with tape. I've tried scraping and you know, rubbing with paper towel and doing all that, but tape is just the easiest way to do it, and it's the cleanest. You don't end up with paint chips all over. You know, it just comes right off on the tape. You roll the tape up and throw it away. So anyways, that looks really good, but you can see right there in the center where I'd gotten just too much Vaseline. Sorry, I thought you had enough of seeing me use tape on it. So anyways, I sand all the spackle down, and that took probably about 10 times, sanding it down, adding more, sanding it down, adding more. Now I'm using burnt umber to make it look aged, rusty a little bit, and then I'm going to put that on my little sign. See, the little piece of wood came out looking really pretty too, really rustic. So anyways, I finally got this to where it's decent. And I already showed you putting the wreath. I actually didn't put I don't think I put the Velcro on the back side of the frame. No, of course I didn't, because I didn't paint it yet. Duh, there's a big duh moment for me. So anyways, I really am proud of the way this turned out. So that made the project, you know, I really worked hard on it, so that made the project even better for me. You know, after you get that satisfaction of seeing how pretty it turns out. So I'm using the antique parchment, and I'm just doing kind of a heavy dry brush on it, and I do the, you know, the insides, and I believe I do the back. I can't remember. I don't think I do the back actually, because it's got all those staple holes in it and it just looks terrible anyway. So I've got these 4 little, what I call them, latch hooks. Like, I'm not sure what exactly you call them, but what I'm going to do is I've got little pieces of chain that I've taken off of, like, those little welcome signs. That one I think was a windmill maybe, and it had 2 pieces of chain on it, and I took the pieces off and used the windmill. It had 2 pieces of chain on it holding the sign that said welcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 2 little pieces of chain, and I'm going to put 2 of those little I don't know what you call them, round latch hooks is what I've always called them, but I'm not sure what the actual name is. So anyways, I'm going to measure and screw those little circle, it's not a hook, so it would be a little circle thingy, circle hook. And so I put some wood glue on the threads of the screw before I screwed it in there. Now this shelf is going to be ornamental. It's not going to hold, you know, anything heavy. You can put flowers or, you know, something really light on it, but it's not going to hold anything heavy. It's just for you know, it's just for looks. So anyways, I measured, and then that one was just a little bit too loose. So I'm going to take it out, and in that hole I'm going to put wood glue so that it fills in. Wood glue just basically becomes wood after it dries. So anyways, after I get that taut, then I'm going to do the other side and you know, measure to make sure that they're basically in the same place. So I think that the chain, I could have distressed it a little bit, but I haven't done that to it. I think the chain just gives it a little something extra. So here I am putting the ribbon, putting the Velcro on the back of the ribbon, And then I'm going to stick that right to the back of the frame. That way the whole thing is interchangeable. So if you want to just change the wreath, you can change the wreath. If you want to change the ribbon and the wreath, you can do that. So I just used, okay, so I used the Eileen's tacky glue, and of course my tip was all plugged up, but I used hot glue too, and the hot glue just dried up as soon as I put it on there. So I just ended up setting a bunch of heavy stuff on top of it and just letting it set. So it ended up setting here for a couple hours. So I'm just barely gluing the wood sign on there, just, you know, just to hold it. I don't want any big globs of glue on there. So anyways, that just pretty much dried up instantly. Didn't do any good to have that hot glue on there. So I just put a bunch of stuff on it and waited. So here's where I'm going to show you just how that ribbon works. So since you have the piece of Velcro on the back of the frame, you can disconnect the whole ribbon, change out the ribbon, change out the wreath, change out the whole thing, just change the whole look completely. So of course you would want to use that ribbon with that wreath because of the bow at the bottom. But this thing, for as much of a hassle as it was, it turned out really cute. I am very happy with the way it turned out. So I hope you guys like it. I hope that you'll consider hitting the like and consider some subscribing. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much.